Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another three-wide television presentation of the 2024 OSCA Weekend Woodsman Series Racing Series here at the Bathurst Throwback 300. Here at Bathurst, of course, because that's why I call it Bathurst. Boy, we got this great 3.86 mile, 23 turn track here tonight. This is going to be some exciting racing. My name's Jerry Briggs, up here with Carlos Acosta and Vic Bloom. Also up here for the picks between the halves. Excited to be here again and excited to be in the booth with Carlos. Carlos, what are you expecting tonight?
I'm expecting us to have a very fun night in general here at the bathtub. I can't wait. The last time we were here, it was a very tough race well, not tough race to watch, but tough race for these drivers. Very entertaining. OSCA always puts out some very fantastic road racing, and we're experimenting something today. 2 long halves. We'll see how it goes, see if these drivers can handle it. We got 300 kilometers here at Bathurst, and I can't wait to see if these guys can survive the wrath of the mountain.
This is my first time being here, Vic. What are you expecting?
I'm expecting like 4 or 5 people to run away with this thing, and everybody else kind of spread out a little bit, but into their own small packs. It's kind of going to be like a super speedway, but the packs will be much, much smaller.
Vic, I have a question for you. Was I producing the last time we were at this track?
Yeah.
Okay, because I remember I had
22A.
22. Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, because I remember I had to miss a race.
No, that was Long Beach.
That was Long Beach. Okay, there we go. So Peter short covered that one. We're good.
No.
We're here at the racetrack here, Bathurst. I love this track. I've driven it a handful of times, enough times for me to be afraid of it every time I'm a driver, but happy to be here as a producer. Anyway, we got some things. Yeah, we got picks. We got picks to do. Very, very quick, Vic.
Jeremy, you go.
Oh, goodness. Holy cow.
I know, I'm throwing you right into this. I'm sorry.
Throwing me right into. Hold on a second. Give me 5 seconds to pull up my little thing here. I haven't had 5 seconds to even think about it.
I knew
5 seconds is a long time.
All right, or it goes Cameron Rich, because that's the person I see on top, I guess.
That's right, absolutely. That is the pick of the night right there. I would normally criticize your picks, but that is pick of the night.
Figured why not. That's who I looked up and saw up there. We got time.
Who you got, Carlos?
I'm trying to see if I think I have already picked this person. Oh man, I sure have. All right, well, let me see. My next pick will be... Oh, I've also picked that person. Oh man, I'm starting to run out of options. Have I picked Noah Brown? I have not.
Noah,
I'm picking
you
Noah
have
Brown.
not. That is a pick. That
You have now picked Noah Brown, though.
So I've been saving this pick. I've actually been saving 2 picks for this race specifically. I'm gonna go with the 69 of Daniel Gore.
Good pick.
I know it is.
Yeah.
Great.
Very good pick. I mean, Daniel Gore, I feel like, has been in Victory Lane almost every week so far. Or some type of
standing start. I'm gonna go talk to someone else.
Yep. Well, we're gonna have a look here at the starting lineup here any second now. As soon as this race transitions on over into the qualifying mode, Vic teased it right there. We are gonna have a standing start, and Cameron Rich is this season's pole sitter here for a Bathurst Throwback 300K. Daniel Gore right alongside him in second. Noah Brown qualified third for Redux Racing, and James Miller in fourth. Qualifying fifth is Cassidy McLeod with Kynan Jones, the two friends over there sharing a row here, fifth and sixth. Ty McIntosh, we missed him in the booth already. Glad to see him on track, but we miss him here as well. Gavin Hibbs alongside him in eighth. Ninth is going to be Jake Scarborough. 10th will be Ryan Gavel. What a fun top 10. In 11th place, we have Darren Staff and Cooper Johnson at RKM, row number 6. In 13th place, we're going to have Tate Lytle for Pro Edge. And James Watson, Dugan Motorsports, James Watson in 14th place, number 39 machine. Caden Tubbs qualified 15th with Matt Hackathorn in 16th, with Santiago Aguirre in 17th, and Joe Francis right alongside him in 18th place. 19th is going to be Zach Evans, and Ray Bracey is going to qualify in the top 20th. 21st will be Thomas Capiano with Dylan Gooden alongside him in 22nd. 23rd will be Dylan Thomas and David Westergreen. Nice combo there all the way at the end. And the last couple of drivers here, the last 3 drivers to start, will be Adam Peeler, 25th, with Dave Carpenter in 26th. Dave Carpenter was the first driver with no time. And Alex Kenton starting all the way at the tail end of the field here in 27th. 27 cars here for only 21 inverted positions. So right now, currently 21st will be Thomas Capiano to start the race. That's going to be interesting to see what happens. You can hear some of the engines revving already. Should be going green here pretty soon. There we go. Green flag is out.
Green flag is out. The standing starts, they definitely happen quick. Especially because the flagman is waving the green flag. The drivers get the green light. I believe we said earlier prior to the broadcast that we were running, I believe it was 1996 was the year there, Carlos, for these throwback of the supercar series. Some of these drivers obviously running different variations, of course.
No, 2016.
Sorry, yeah, 2016, my apologies. I'm adding a few years to my life. I forget how far back things are. These drivers, so far, so good.
And while I may not fully agree with all the choices that the series admins are, kind of throw these drivers, I'm a team owner, so I do kind of have to deal with some of the consequences of some of the rules. I do have to admit that even though all these drivers are forced to run a throwback theme scheme for tonight, it's really satisfying to watch all the cars be on theme. No driver here got to be kicked. All the drivers here showed up with the correct aero scheme that they got assigned or chosen, and it's just a sight to see all these unique style cars.
As we continue to go through these, oh, we got, there it is. There it is. First driver that looks like finds some trouble here early on. Let's see if he can get it. No, he is. Oh, is he going to get it fired back up? Let's see as we get our 3-wide television multicam rolling. Looking on board with these other cars. Looks like he had to tow. No, looks like he's back. There we go. He's rolling slowly but surely as the leaders have about one more turn and they will be at the start-finish line. Got these awesome onboard cameras. Look at that great footwork there. Wearing shoes. I am not a shoes kind of person. I'm also not very good at road courses, so that might be also my downfall. But great footwork to see there. As we look through the field, so far, still Cameron Rich up front, Daniel Gore in second. Noah Brown, Cassie McLeod, Kynan Jones round out your top 5. Ty McIntosh, who was a great addition to the booth last week. Appreciate that. Right now running 6th, Devin Hibbs 7th, Jay Scarborough's 8th, Brian Gamble 9th, and Darren Stapp is 10th. Awesome schemes that we will look at throughout the night. 21 laps to go.
Here we go to the top.
Take a look at the replay. 09 of Miller. Over the crest of this hill. Looks like a very tricky unloading section. Yep, looks like it's bouncing around. Wheels are cranked to left and it's going straight.
No, he's having a wheel issue. You see the wheel turn all the way to the left.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
That's a technical issue. Okay. So no contact or anything, just lost a lot of time. Looks like he's on pit road trying to probably either diagnose that issue or going to set the rest of this half. We'll see. Right now, track temperature 108 degrees. Cameron Rich leading the way, almost a second lead already.
I gotta say, I'm very impressed. Like, the wheel must have disconnected or something, but the man never hit anything. The car, when the wheel disconnects, it turns all the way to the left direction. usually, and it also smashes the brakes. And yeah, it was perfectly done in a way where he was off everybody else's way, didn't hit anybody, and never hit the wall. So what a plot twist there.
Great job. I believe there was a couple drivers, or at least one driver that was somewhat close nearby to kind of see that happening in front of them. Looks like the 09 of Miller is back underway off of pit road now. Might have had that situation figured out.
Being told Alex
not
Kenton
sure.
had an issue.
Yes, Alex Kenton in the 14 also off the pace right now. Off the back of the field. Just going into the last couple kinks right now. We'll see if we can get an eye on that issue here.
Here we go, top of the screen.
Check out replay. Yep. Great job, Carlos. Is this? Let's see. Yep. Oh, sideways. Oh man. Head on. Was he already towards the back, anyways? 'Cause it looks
Yeah,
like
he was all the way in the back. He just
right,
the
so
car balance got off and just went straight into the left side wall. He's taking it down there.
Definitely gonna get some of that damage fixed up. Still up front, as you can see on board here with Daniel Gorey. Look up front there. That's Cameron Rich, the 29, out there in front of his windshield. These are great looking schemes by these drivers. Like, I give an applaud to the league to make sure that they were making sure everybody was on board, and really it puts on a good show up here in the broadcast booth, and it looks really good. Daniel Gore, with another great scheme there. Right there, caught back up to Cameron Rich here. I thought Cameron Rich was pulling away, but it looks like Daniel Gore has caught him just a little bit, not too far back, but then you look behind Daniel Gore and Noah Brown. I believe that has an onboard camera 4.5 seconds back, wheeling that machine right now. Great onboard camera shot there. Running in third position right now, trying to catch up to his teammate, Daniel Gore. And behind him, the number 73 is Kynan Jones. Also roughly 7.5 seconds back right now. 20 laps to go in this first half. Drivers getting just a little spread out right now, but kind of expected. This road racing is tough, and usually the good drivers get to the front quite quickly and put on a good show up there. And these drivers back here, they also different diversities. You can see the Hibbs machine here, Gavin Hibbs, number 52. You know, these drivers back here, you know, they're not that close to the leader, but they're also battling for position, and they're all close to each other, so they might not be as fast, but there's still plenty of positions in front of them. Cassie McLeod there in that 35, Ty McIntosh in that 10. All right here, they got Ryan Gavel right there behind McIntosh, stalking those two drivers.
Trying to see what else is going on in the racetrack so far. Yeah, we've been noting the fast laps of Cameron Ridge and Daniel Gore, who are the only ones out on track that are running 2-minute 13-second lap times. Excuse me, that was their 2-minute 13-second lap times. Everybody else is down to the 2 minutes 14 and then 2 minutes 15 and 16 and down. So early on in the race, of course, the biggest problem that for one of the drivers, James Miller, who had an issue with his car, down 22 positions from where he qualified. So if he gets a caution, which is gonna be rare, but has happened before here in OSCA, if he gets a caution, he'll be all the way right back with the tail in the field. But with James Miller's pace, I still expect him to get well into the top 20, even though he did lose a lot of time. James Miller currently right now He's only 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds behind Alex Kenton, but then well over a minute behind the rest of the field. So I do expect him to get back into the top 20. But as far as any further, will really depend on how the other guys, are driving. David Westergreen had an issue. I think he has taken a tow. No, there he is. He's still out there going, but he does have some damage. Let's go ahead and pull up a replay and see what happened.
Westergreen here in the 9 machine. I almost said 09. Oh, looks like maybe an early downshift, maybe. Got that back end swung out on him. Not
Beautiful
sure.
speed.
Yes. Unfortunately, got some dings and dents on it now. He's just coming around to the home stretch now. We'll see if he comes down pit road or tries to
He does go
ride
down
it
there,
out.
really. Let's see.
So
I
the 9
should
machine,
have. Yeah, David
Westergreen now on pit road.
He got a meatball flag from that incident. That would explain why he has decided to go down pit road. Yeah.
That was a pretty big hit to the front end. Probably hurt the radiator pretty bad. It does happen. Not a lot of room for error on this track. Very tight corners. In my opinion, not a very stock car friendly track, but these drivers are making it look easy up front. One little slip up back though. These drivers are all pretty close. One of the cars towards the front here does slip up and crosses a logjam. It could wreak some serious havoc. And it can happen quick because these corners are very tight through here, these corkscrews and whatnot. Like I said, I don't have much experience at this track, but I have seen it a couple times on TV. And it does look a lot like it. And I believe, Carlos, you've taken some laps here.
I have taken some laps here in a league or two, as well as I did attempt some of the iRacing official events. And it's definitely it's a track you don't want to take lightly. You want to go in there fully committed, understanding the track, because this is a technical track with I would say like just two. It's like as if you're driving two tracks at the same time. You got the whole uphill section, you got the technical downhill section, and then the kind of like the cool down, like relax. After the downhill where you eventually cross our finish line and start going back uphill again, because it's the downhill I think is fun, but it's also the place where you're probably gonna you just don't have much room for error. If you make a mistake, you're gonna hit a wall, and that will possibly ruin your race.
Definitely lots of elevation changes here as we look at the 52 machine of Gavin Hibbs putting pressure on to the 73 of Kynan Jones. The Vortex on the side there. 3Y television throwback logo looks like they're on the hood of the 52 Hibbs machine. Man, these drivers are wheeling these things. They're sideways through here. I've been watching the leader, Rich, also. The drivers getting sideways throughout the whole field. Wow, I mean, that wall is right there. Look at that. Drivers using every inch of this track because these stock cars are so heavy. You need to get really good entries. And look at this downhill section, the left and the right.
Yeah, this whole part
tremendous
here,
elevation change right here is huge.
Yeah, this whole part right there, it just kind of feels like going down the hill on Laguna Seca, you know, the corkscrew. That's just what it feels like the whole time, this whole downhill section.
Just a couple extra of them. And Hibbs right there really putting the pressure on to the 73 of Kynan Jones. So far so good. We've got 17 laps to go. Leaders one more turn and they'll be headed towards the start finish line. That'll put us 16 laps to go. And the Bathurst Throwback 300 here on 3Y television. That'll be an invert after this first half of 21 drivers, so whoever is running 21st at the time they cross the start finish line will be starting on the pole for our second half. And whoever wins the first half will be starting 21st. And with as good as these drivers are up front, It's going to be wicked fun to try to watch them come back through the field. Obviously, still 16 laps to go. A lot can happen that could potentially put them in the back. We'll have to see how it plays out.
Currently in 21st is Dylan Thomas. So keep an eye out on him as he is in prime position to be starting in the front row. So good for him. Thomas Capiano in 20th. So if things end right now the way they are, that's going to be your front row. But I expect things to change though. So we still have pit stops to get through. We're gonna see a driver or two make a mistake that will result in them hemorrhaging a ton of spots and or just having to call this half one early.
Yep, you spoke right there what I was just about to bring up there, Carlos. Pit stops around lap 13 is when we expect drivers to potentially have to come to pit road, depending on how much they've saved. Of course, their pace varying from front to back. And these drivers up front are burning obviously a lot more fuel because they're driving a lot faster. We look on board here with the number 56 running 10th right now of Tate there with an awesome onboard shot in real life with a great headshot. Look at him going down this hill, really on that wheel trying to make it happen. Appreciate Tate giving us this great webcam.
And he's got the wrong scheme on. Obviously, he was already approved by the admin, so it's not an issue on Tate's end, it's an issue on my end, where he must have joined after I had refreshed paint. So hopefully, with a refresh going on right now, that's going to be taken care of here very soon. But yeah, Tate's currently top 10, up 3 spots. Great drive early on by Tate, and hopefully see if he can improve some more spots from where he started.
As Rich cooks off another lap, Daniel Gore still there right in striking range as we ride on board now with Darren Staff in the RK Motorsports Mountain Dew.
He has let me down.
45. He's let you down.
Yeah, he did not set up his webcam.
Oh, Darren Staff letting us down. No webcam. We'll remember that for next time, Darren.
How about the Sith Lord himself, Ty McIntosh, wasn't here last week because he was in a broadcast booth. He's in here now. He's got his Showtime shirt. I'm assuming excited for the playoffs. The mouth is open, tongue isn't out quite yet, but he's digging on in there. He's digging on in there in 7th. Hasn't lost a spot, hasn't gained a spot. Still early on, but he's he's doing the best he can right now.
Looking at his lap time right there too, looks like he's about a second off of his best lap time. So I'm assuming these drivers are probably going to be taking tires towards the back, but we'll just have to see how it plays out because you lose so much time. And I'm assuming they have to get a full tank, so maybe 4 tires won't be a bad option. Because the 27 is also towards the back of the field right now as well. Adam Peeler, not sure if he pit or if he had an incident at some point.
Adam Peeler, I don't see his name showing up here. So maybe, but let me take a look here and see if anything.
Maybe just coming back off the tail end of the field now. Maybe had a couple of just slides.
Adam Peeler did have an issue on lap 4. You know what? Let's go see just what happened at. Here he is.
White and black machine right there. Oh.
He's fine.
All right.
That wasn't too bad. Okay, so that's not really an issue.
Looks like just maybe just a little off the pace right now.
Dylan Thomas has crashed though. I've been told he's crashed. Let's see what happened to Dylan. Almost the same spot. Ooh, he hit the inside wall and almost had to come to a complete stop. So he got himself some damage and was able to hold off from being passed by that's not good. That is that Westergren. Yeah, Westergren, who is more than a lap down after trying to get his car repaired.
not a lot of room for air on these tracks. And once you bounce off that first wall, you definitely want to get her locked down because it's kind of like a ping pong or a pinball effect going through those turns like that. You start bouncing off both sides and really wreck your front end as we look at the Cameron Rich machine, number 91 up front, excuse me, number 29 up front with 14 laps to go. Daniel Gore still just looking right at him. Looks like Cameron Rich has pulled up just a little bit on him. Another half second on him, and a lot can still happen though. We got 14 long laps to go. This 3.8 mile track right now is 109 degrees on track temperature. So these tires are going to be getting hot with pit stops coming up within the next 5 to 6 laps. We'll see how this transpires. Make sure everybody gets on and off pit road with no errors. Oh, look at that car just wheeling that machine. Look at those, the rear ends just hung right out. This is some great racing.
That's Jake Scarborough in the 77 machine, currently in 11th. And he's lost 2 spots where he started in 9th, but still hanging on and still salvage a great finish tonight. There's the correct scheme for Tate Lytle. I'm sorry that it took so long for that to show up, but he's got the right one on now, and unfortunately that one's not going to update anytime soon, so I'm sorry about that, guys. But he's got a beautiful scheme there here in the number 44 machine. Alright, let's take a look and see what are the potential closest battle, and the first one that's catching my eye is Ty McIntosh and Darren Staff battling for that 8th place position. Darren Staff, who started tonight's race in 11th, has moved up 2 spots and was looking on the back bumper of Ty McIntosh to get an additional spot and get himself into 8th place. But Ty got a great run off of that first corner as they start their ascent up the mountain. Who is that? I think that's Cassidy McLeod going a little wide there.
Still on track.
Oh, contact!
Oh, contact with the car and the wall. Man, it's so hard to go too wide through here. Side by side for McLeod. And I believe that's going to be the number 1 of Gavel.
Yeah, contact with Gavel and McLeod is in the uphill section, in the technical part of the uphill section, where they both make contact. I think Ryan hit the wall, but it did eventually get past Cassidy, and then a little bit of contact between Ty McIntosh and Cassidy McLeod, as Ty had to settle in right behind her.
As Cassidy begins the regroup, trying to stay ahead of Ty McIntosh now. Looks like she may be holding up Ty right now. This Ty seems to be a little bit better. We're not sure how much damage acquired from that contact for those 2 cars in front of Ty McIntosh. As they said, he's now -1 machine with a great onboard shot. Live in real life shot once again. Well, these drivers are just watching these drivers go around
Ryan
this
has
track.
gone wide. Ryan Gavel.
Oh man, I gotta say I'm kind of jealous. I haven't turned laps here yet in these Xfinity cars, and they are all over the place. Looks like a couple drivers might be coming down pit road.
Yeah, Kynan Jones going down pit road. Also notable, I just noticed, Cooper Johnson, number 91 machine, got a meatball flag. So something wants to happen to Cooper Johnson, because he now has to go down pit road. Meanwhile, Ryan Gavel did get a furled black flag, which means he has to give up some time, otherwise he will get a black flag penalty. He did get that cleared, so he gave up enough time for cutting the course that iRacing has deemed it okay. He can continue. Didn't lose a spot, but he did lose a little bit of time to Cassidy McLeod, Ty McIntosh, and Darren Staff. Meanwhile, a number of drivers going down pit road, including the likes of Kynan Jones, Cooper Johnson, who we mentioned had a meatball flag. James Watson has gone down pit road. Who else? Caden Tubbs and Ray Bracey.
The road is
Yeah.
Sorry, pit road is open. Like we said, around lap 13, so drivers coming in a little bit early, maybe trying to split this race right in half. Looks like just fuel only too. Nobody looks like they're sitting too long.
You mentioned that these guys pitting 2 to 1 laps before the halfway mark, as Cooper's still down there at pit road with more damage than probably expected, as he has cleared the meatball flag, and there he goes. Not going to fix any optional damage, just only fixing the required. So I didn't actually see what happened to Cooper. He must have hit the wall, but not slowed down enough for it to trigger a crash event on my telemetry, but he definitely destroyed the car. As your leaders are down pit road, Cameron Rich, Daniel Gore, your top 2 down pit road right now.
Our leaders are in. We'll have to see what they decide here. Everybody looks like they have been doing just fuel only. As we watch a battle on top of the 3-wide television cam, we watch our leaders come down pit road. Looks like so far our top 6
are
now on pit road. Almost all of our top 10, I think, is pitted now at this point, or about to pit.
That's going to hand the lead over to Darren Staff. So he'll be the leader. He did not lead this lap, so that lap lead still goes to Cameron Rich. So Darren Staff will need to stay out an additional lap if he wants to pick up the lap lead bonus. But how far ahead were Cameron Rich, Daniel Gore? They're pulling off back on track, and Cameron Rich is, oh my goodness, Bojo going around in the dirt and the grass.
Oh.
Pretty little cyclones of his own there.
Looks like he's going to get turned back around, and no harm, no foul.
We're going to see what happened. He got some help, I think.
Looks like pit strategy might have gotten these drivers a little bit closer to other drivers.
Oh, man. Wow. Oh. Almost blew over, too. I mean, it was obvious there was a little bit of netcode, but there was going to be contact regardless, as Ray Bracey has gone around. Significant contact to the quarter panel, but I think he's going to be okay. I think he just hit the quarter panel, or he got hit in the quarter panel. Can't quite see who that was. I'm still not used to who's in who right now, as we had the 3-wide TV. Oh no, cam there, as Bojo has gone around there.
3-wide television. Oh no, camera. As I believe a couple drivers have all finished up their pit stall or pit window opportunities. So far, so good. Besides that incident right there, no difference in tires or anything. And up front, just still Cameron Rich and Daniel Gore as we look at this battle right here between these 3 drivers.
Yeah, Darren Staff was unable to hold on to the lead. Daniel Gore and Cameron Rich have gone by him right now. Oh, no contact as Daniel Gore kind of shoves Darren Staff up a little bit as Darren went into the grass. So Darren's not going to go down pit road, make his pit stop, and drop a couple of spots there in the running order. But Cameron Rich, so far at the moment, has led every single lap, and he'll continue to lead every single lap unless he makes a mistake or Daniel Gore starts catching back up and putting in some monster laps. The rest of the drivers who have yet to go down pit road are in pit road right now, with the exception of Thomas Capuano, but he hasn't gone down to that section of the track yet, so I'm assuming he will go down pit road. Darren Staff, Joe Francis, Santiago Aguirre, Matt Hackathorn, Noah Brown, and there's Thomas Capuano going down pit road. That will do it for everybody, as everybody has done or is doing their one pit stop here. With 10 laps remaining here in this race, 12 already completed. Remember, invert is 21. I'm going to wait a little bit to see if any of these drivers around the middle of the field who did go down pit road, if they're going to drop around that 20th section. But yeah, Cameron Rich has potential to lead every single lap this race.
With just one more lap, car potentially in the way right here, which I believe the lap car will do a great job getting out of the way. We'll have to see if Daniel Gore could do anything with Cameron Rich. We were watching that wreck there between those two cars, and man, they are so lucky that there was a lot of space out there, because I wouldn't say wreck, I would say contact made. But luckily there was a, oh man, going for a ride. Using some extra space on the track for these drivers. I'm really impressed with how they're doing. Let's look at Kynan Jones. Right now, heart rate 152. A little more steadier here than I believe a few weeks ago at a super speedway. You could really watch it fluctuate at the super speedway.
And Kynan Jones, obviously from the Australia/New Zealand region, according to iRacing. So this is a track that he is most familiar with, or one would assume is most familiar with. And running in third right now, doing a great job, up 3 spots from where he started, and in intention to get himself a nice podium finish so far. But it's not over yet, as he does have Gavin Hibbs right behind him.
Hibbs seems to be on the move here, as it was Daniel Gore, and then I believe it was his teammate Noah Brown, who I do not see in the top 10.
Oh yeah, Noah Brown is 18th.
We'll have to get a look at that. Not sure what happened, because that happened quick. We'll let all these drivers cycle through now. Rich, Gore, Jones, Hibbs, Gavel, your top 5. McIntosh, Lightly.
Noah Brown went down pit road twice. The second time Noah Brown went down pit road, he was only there for... Oh, I see what happened. I don't see what happened. Noah Brown went down pit road on lap 12. Ending lap 11, going down lap 12. And 52 almost smacked the wall there. He had a normal pit stop, 14.58 seconds. Exited pit road overall with a 49.35 second time. Very good competitive time. The following lap, he went down pit road again. So maybe he got a black flag of some kind, because he went down his stall for 30.77 seconds. So he must, maybe he sped exiting pit road, or had a commitment line violation, or whatever the case is. He got a black flag, and went down pit road the next time by, cleared the 30-second penalty, and then just was on his way. So that's why Noah Brown is currently down in 18th position. Is Kynan Jones feeling it from Gavin Hibbs, who's right on his back bumper, going through the last couple of corners before this lap ends, as Hibbs is all over that back of the number 73, possibly racing that heart rate. Let's see, actually went down 143. It was 155 when he was running by himself.
Sometimes the competition makes you a little more calm, even though you feel like you're racing harder. Puts you in a good position and a good mindset. It's one thing I really like about racing in general, is it really helps me just get sharpen my edges, I guess is what you could say, is just get some good hard battling out there side by side with something, and get your brain moving as we look at our leaders of Rich and Gore still up front.
Been told Darren Staff had an issue on track. He's running 11, so he lost some positions from where you were, a little slidey, and he came to a stop, didn't hit anything, as he was like a roadblock there in the middle, and surprisingly, surprisingly, he had enough of a gap to lose 2 spots there, and only 2 spots, as that could have been way worse. He was dead sideways in the middle of the track in one of the tightest sections. So 2 things to note. My secondary feed crashed. So I'm working on getting that feed up and going. Yeah, usually it's the primary one that crashes. The secondary one is very stable. And another thing to note, is that from the YouTube chat, EMD34 saying Noah hit the wall on top of the mountains and had about a minute repair. So maybe that's why he went down pit road. He maybe got a meatball flag or something. Yeah, or I don't quite see what happened. I don't see him getting a meatball flag, but maybe he went down pit road to repair the car.
Well, we appreciate the insight about Noah Brown from the YouTube chat.
Yeah, very much appreciated.
Coming now to
is starting to come back up slowly.
As we are now at 7 laps to go here at the weekend Woodsman Series, OSCA 2024 B Series.
You'll get it right at some point. All right, let's see. 7 laps remaining here. Remember, top 21 invert, and right now in 21st. This is interesting. James Miller. So James Miller qualified really well. He dropped 17 spots from where he was. On lap 1, he had an equipment malfunction that he got very lucky. Didn't really hit anything. Just locked up the whole wheel and locked up the brakes. Was off to the side, so he got very lucky. But dropped all the way to the tail end of the field. But here he is right now, currently in 21st. And honestly, he's in prime position to start first, if not second, if not first, here on the second half, and he's got the pace definitely to maybe win that half too from that position. Because remember, while Cameron Rich and Daniel Gore are right out class of the field, they are pulling away from everybody else. They're gonna be starting 21st and 20th, so they could easily be stuck there long enough for any of the front runners to pull away significantly, or they can get caught up in somebody's mess.
A lot can happen, especially starting that deep in the field. You got to be extremely patient when you've got that much speed. I know for myself, I make that mistake all the time, and I'm just not patient. You know, you got to be very precise when you make your passes. You know, you can only make certain passes in certain areas on this track, because one more move and we're going to be bunching the whole track, or the whole field up, especially in those tight turns of the wall, just side by side, just inches apart. A lot can happen to those drivers mid-pack. Cameron Rich gets ready to come around and complete another lap. James Miller, like you said, not sitting pretty in the first half, but sitting pretty all together. Looks like James Miller's last lap was a 2:14.107. Cameron Rich was a 2:14.435. So I'm not sure if maybe
a competitive lap time. Oh no!
Yeah.
Who was that? That's Cooper
somebody
Johnson.
was blowing up.
Oh no! Oh man!
Heavy
you know what that
contact.
means? Oh, it's one of my drivers. Cooper Johnson, I think his half one day is done. I'm going to see if I can pull up a replay. As well, there's the leaders. James Miller isn't really too far away from being lapped. Of course, you mentioned it right there. He was running faster lap times than the leader, so he's in good position. We're at the point now where maybe in the next 3 or so laps, 3-4 laps, we may be seeing lap traffic significant lap traffic for the 2 front runners. Let's see if we can pull up what happened to Cooper Johnson. He's been struggling here tonight in that beautifully Darren Staff designed vehicle. Just locked it. This didn't slow down enough and just killed the car on the outside wall. And there's no way that car was going to finish.
I give these drivers all the credit because I am terrible at road courses. So see some of these drivers having a little mishaps. I completely understand it happening. As I said, we have a pass there. I'm not sure if that was for position.
No, that was
lap
not
car.
for position. That was a lap car, yeah.
All right.
That is Ty McIntosh and Tate Lytle. That's a battle for 6th position. They're not quite close enough to each other quite yet, but that lap traffic kind of slowed down Ty just a little bit. Seeing who else might be out there. I'm seeing Joe Francis on the back bumper or close enough to the back bumper of James Watson. This is a battle for 9th position. Seeing who else might be close by. Ryan Gavel and Kynan Jones, they've kind of been stuck to each other. Excuse me, Gavin Hibbs and Ryan Gavel. Who it looks like Kynan Jones has pulled away from Gavel with enough time to be comfortable right now. Your top three settling in quite nicely. Cameron Rich with a 1.5 second lead over Gore, who Gore has actually been gunning him down just a little bit. Keep an eye on that. Then Kynan Jones, 25.5 seconds behind Gore and Rich, which, you know, it's a lot of time, so it's good for the top two drivers. And then in fourth place, Gavel, who is about 7 seconds behind Kynan Jones. So Kynan Jones has a comfortable lead for that final podium spot. David Westergreen having an issue off track. Again, it looks like he has towed his vehicle. I'm going to see if I can pull up a replay here.
5 laps to go for our leaders. We'll check this replay.
Ooh,
Definitely
right there, just a little
part
too wide
of the
hit.
Oh,
I think he did the same thing
I think
earlier.
I think that's a third incident, fourth maybe incident we've seen in that area for these drivers tonight. Definitely a tricky part of the track. Every part of the track is tricky for me, so like I said earlier, these drivers are really putting on one heck of a show.
Tongues out for Ty, as he is digging on in there for that battle for 6th place between him and Tate. Gavin Higgins has gone past Ryan Gavel. That happened kind of off track. There he is right there. You can see that kind of happening there. But Ty McIntosh is looking on that back bumper there. He just needs to get close up a little bit, loses a little bit of time on the very crest, top up and top down of nearing the top and the starting point of the downhill section. He loses some time to Tate Lytle there.
Ty McIntosh, like you said, started 7th, still running 7th. Doing everything he can to get to Tate Lytle.
Yeah, right now Ty McIntosh is very comfortable where he is. Look at him, he's talking, he's smiling, he's laughing. Right now he's a tourist in this racetrack. Hasn't lost a spot, hasn't gained a spot. He's laughing, people are telling jokes. Tongue is no longer out because Tate Lytle has pulled away slightly from him.
Or they probably told him in his ear in his Discord channel that we were talking about it.
That is a guffaw that just came out of his mouth.
As these drivers have 4 laps to go around this tricky, very large road course. No rain in the forecast, thank goodness.
I would hope not.
So beautiful weather here.
Cassidy McLeod filling in for the 35 this week, was filling in for Kynan Jones last week, who missed a race. Didn't really have the race that she wanted at a super speedway, but is here now and hanging on the best she can. Currently in 8th, is in the top 10 and doing what she needs to do. No major issues. A little bit of contact with Ryan Gavel, a little bit of contact with not Kynan Jones. I think it was Gavel and that was Darren Staff before he had his issue. But you know, they were all able to make it work. Excuse me, it wasn't Darren Staff. It was Tate Lytle, Ryan Gavel and Tate Lytle. That's right. Just a tiny little bit of contact, but no harm, no foul for any of these drivers. And Cassidy's doing a great job hanging in back there. As I saw a driver have an issue there. Oh, could that have been Zach Evans? I'm not quite sure. It doesn't show me who had issues. But Zach Evans, currently in 15th. We haven't shown this man much here tonight. Let's see if we can pull up a camera. There he is, Zach Evans, currently in 15th. He's moved up 4 spots from where he started. Dylan Thomas has had an issue on the track again. But comfortable, moving up just slightly, but Zach Evans just relaxing out here, trying to survive here.
Rocking the gloves with that awesome wheel and wheelbase there. It was one heck of a setup.
Mm-hmm.
All these drivers running different setups from all across the world. so many different areas represented during these races. It's pretty neat what iRacing can do for everybody here. It's definitely turned into quite the experience since it came out, and I've able to been here for these 5 years, and it's pretty neat. I believe last night I was calling the C-Fix top split race with a NASCAR Cup Series driver in it, so it's pretty crazy what you're going to run into out here. And right now, Cameron Rich here, still out front.
Yeah, but look at that lead. It has gone down, not significantly, but it's gone down as Cameron Rich is no longer in a comfortable margin, as he just a couple seconds ago was facing an under 1 second lead. Now he's brought it back up to 1.15, but he can't really make mistakes. Daniel Gore from Redox Racing is a strong road course driver, and he's there. He's been there long enough. And now with 3 laps to go, almost 2 laps to go, he's there and getting ready to press the L2 button to intimidate Cameron Rich.
Intimidation is on. Daniel Gore, really good at pretty much every track that we go at, but road courses are definitely his thing. As you can see, the number 29 right there out his front windshield.
EMD34 in the YouTube chat saying that they are spotting for Redux Racing tonight. So I mean, EMD, if you're listening to us, just like what's going on in Daniel's mind? Does he think he's got this chance at a victory? Hopefully we'll see if we can get anything back from EMD. But with 2 laps remaining here, the gap is almost the same. Actually lost just a little bit of time to Cameron Rich, Gore did, but still, any small mistake can be the difference for either Rich or Gore. Battle for 21st update. James Miller is no longer 21st. He's actually 19th. He moved up a couple spots, so at the moment he would be starting half number 2 in the 3rd place position. Still a great spot. Dylan Thomas currently in 21st. Dylan Gooden in 20th. So it would be a Dylan front row at the time being if the race ends right now.
Did we do that last week? I feel like we had a Dylan front row at some point last week. I'm not sure when.
Was it a Dylan front row or was it a James front row?
I think it was the Dylan.
I'm not quite sure myself.
Dylan's been pretty popular this year, I feel like, at some point during the races, but so far.
Dylan Thomas going wide.
Oh. Great job, everybody avoiding any severe incident there.
For 22nd, Adam Peeler, he is currently 18 seconds back from that 21st position. Dylan Thomas does have a wounded race car, so if he makes a mistake, hits the wall here and there, he may have to go down pit road. And that's an easy spot there for Adam Peeler to start in 1st as opposed to starting in 22nd.
I do believe Peeler might be 1 lap behind him, though. We'll check on that.
No, they're on the same lap.
They're on the same lap? Okay.
They're on the same lap, yeah. But here are the race leaders. The race leaders will have to deal with Peeler here on the very last lap. White flag is out. As he got a couple more corners for Daniel Gore to make an attempt to get the win.
I believe Dylan Thomas might be on pit road.
Yeah, Dylan, we just talked about, he got a meatball flag. Dylan Thomas got a meatball flag. He has surrendered that 21st place spot. And now Adam Peeler is in position for that 21st place spot. And he has over a lap advantage over Alex Kenton, who's in 22nd. And with 1 lap to go, that kind of settles it that Adam Peeler will, at worst, finish 21st in this race.
The back up front, Cameron Rich took the green flag from the lead, has led every single lap, I believe, so far.
Yep.
Got the pressure right now from the really good driver of Daniel Gore here in OSCA.
Yeah, OSCA, yeah.
We'll have to see if he can get to them as they are just a few turns away from the start-finish line. Getting ready to come down the hill. Kynan Jones over 30 seconds back. Hopefully something up front could maybe potentially happen between these leaders here in the final few turns at the Bathurst Throwback 300 first half.
Already done with the technical part. Yeah, already done with the technical part of the downhill section as they're going down this long straightaway. I don't think Daniel Gore is anywhere near close enough to Cameron Rich. Cameron Rich has kept a consistent distance ever since he got that lead down under 1 second. Brought it back up and kept it around the 1.5, 1.2 second gap. And doing a great job down here with the last couple sections.
Just a couple more turns, if not one more turn for your leader, Cameron Rich. Start to finish from first place. He's going to win our first half here at the Bathurst.
Victory number 3 for the number 29 machine for RKM as Cameron Rich back to winning ways here with RKM. Alright, battle continues though. Just because Cameron Rich and Daniel Gore finished the race, we have a battle. Well, we don't have a battle for third place, but third place is 34 seconds behind the competition. And Kynan Jones, who did have a 7-second lead over Hibbs, has lost some time, still comfortable enough as Kynan Jones will bring home a third place finish, much needed third place finish for that 73 machine, especially after missing last week. Gavin Hibbs in fourth, Ryan Galbo finishing fifth, Tate Lytle right behind him in sixth. Ty McIntosh gonna get himself a comfortable seventh, didn't gain or lose a spot, just a tourist out there in that first half. Cassidy McLeod bringing home a strong top 10 at this racetrack, and Joe Francis currently in ninth, and then right behind him is Darren Staff and James Watson battling for that position. Ooh, James Watson looking at Staff, maybe contact, no. This is a 3-car battle, I think.
Oh, curbed it. Is he gonna get to his inside? He does.
Joe Francis finishing in 9th. Darren Staff will be finishing in 10th. Matt Hackathorn 11th, James Watson 12th, Santiago in 13th, Ray Bracey finishing in 14th, and Zach Evans going through the last couple corners here now. Nice, clean, consistent 15th there for Zach, gaining 4 spots in the night. And Thomas Capuano right behind him, a little wide there in the last corner. Gonna get challenged by Caden Tufts, and is he gonna get past? He does get past. No, he does. Okay, start finish line. He must have crossed start finish line right before he got passed by Caden Tufts. So Thomas Capiano, Caden Tufts, and then James Miller here in 18th position and across that line. Looks like James will be starting this second half in 5th. Dylan Gooden and Noah Brown battling as Dylan Gooden is going to get that 19th spot, and Noah Brown will be crossing the line in 20th. So Noah Brown will be starting in 2nd on that invert. So honestly, a good start for Noah. He had that issue. That redux sputter let us know he hit the wall, lost some time, but he's going to be starting in 2nd. So that's going to be competition for James Miller. So how about that first half, man?
I mean, it was pretty uneventful in a good way, but definitely these drivers had their hands full. Like, it was calm event-wise, but these drivers were they were wheeling these machines, and they did a really good job of keeping them off the walls as much as they could. Obviously, a couple of drivers had a couple slip-ups, but unfortunately that is what happens on a tight track like this, especially on a track that, in my opinion, I do not feel like they are built for this type of track of stock cars. So as obviously we look at our results there, Cameron Rich was our winner. Daniel Gore, Kynan Jones, Gavin Hibbs, and Ryan Gavel, your top 5. Tate Lytle, Ty McIntosh, Cassidy McLeod, Joe Francis, and Darren Staff round out your top 10. Matt Hackathorn, James Watson, Santiago Aquare, Ray Bracey, and Zach Evans, your top 15. Thomas Capuano, Caden Tuff 17th there, James Miller 18th, Dylan Gooden 19th, and Noah Brown 20th. Adam Peeler 21st, Dylan Thomas 22nd, Alex Kenton 23rd, David Westergreen 24th, Cooper Johnson 25th, Jake Scarborough 26th, 27th, Dave Carpenter.
Yeah, and those are the 27 drivers that started this race. And I don't know if Vic is here, if we can get started with our picks here for half number 2.
Yeah, I am here. Carlos, your pick had
Cameron Rich.
Okay. I mean, that is okay.
He is starting all the way to the tail end of the field, but I have a feeling that Cameron Rich is cool, calm, methodical. He's gonna find a way, maybe early pit stops. I don't know what it is. He's gonna avoid the trouble and get himself a good. He's gonna wreck.
that's yeah. So I finished second. So I'm gonna go with the 09 of James Miller, another pick I've been saving for this race.
It's a good pick, dude. That settled in nicely for you.
I did. It was either, I'm not gonna lie to you, like I had him or I was gonna go for a safe pick of somebody that I thought might finish. So, all right, who you got, Jeremy?
Who do I got this race? Whew. I believe I've already picked the one driver that I was thinking of. So he's out of the mix. I'm not sure. Have I used Kynan Jones yet? I'm not sure.
No, you haven't.
I have not. All right, let's grab Kynan Jones for this second half. Also, real quick, while I have you here, my Dega second half is over in Trevor's column for some reason. Just a heads up.
Wait, what?
Is it? Oh.
I picked Neil Rutt for Dega 2, and it was over in Trevor's area. So just wanted to let you know before I forgot. Thank you. Appreciate that.
There you go.
All
now
right.
It's not.
There. Now I feel better. I can sleep tonight.
I did get asked if you want broadcasting help, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Who wants to join us?
Neil Rutt is offering his assistance.
Neil, hey, come on in, man. We'd love to have you in the booth.
Absolutely. I love the drivers coming into the booth, and especially when they don't have to be in this scary stuff. What do you think, Vic? That was actually a pretty calm first half with the invert for this second half. This could probably be pretty chaotic.
I wouldn't bet on chaos.
There was one scary moment. I don't know, Vic, if you saw that, but when Darren had an issue there in the last half of the race, and he was like literally dead sideways in the most technical, tightest part of the downhill section.
He went on the radio really quick and said, "Bar stop." So,
thankfully, there was a big enough gap. He only lost 2 spots as a whole, but there was a big enough gap, and thankfully, by the time he even got the car like in a safe spot, that's when he actually got past. So. Really good as we see Vic, have you seen any of the drivers try to do the jump yet?
No, I think that they probably know better. They're probably going to wait till the end.
Are you going to penalize drivers for doing the jump at the end?
No.
No? Oh, okay, well, I might have to keep a camera ready on that.
I'll move Neil up here. Neil.
Perfect.
Neil, who you got for half 2? I'm just going to...
I could have anyone.
Anyone that isn't James Miller, Cameron Rich, or Kynan Jones.
All right. Give me Daniel Gore.
All
Solid
right,
pick.
There you go.
All right.
He had an issue.
Welcome.
He had an issue in half 1. Probably won't happen again in half 2, and starting near the front.
And welcome to the booth, Neil Rutt. Welcome to the party up here as we get ready for our second half. Just 15 seconds left here in this warm-up session. We'll go for our 22-lap second half with a 21-car invert. And with Cameron Rich and the good drivers that finished up front towards the middle of the field, this tight track, it's going to be hard to pass. They'll have to make the passes quick and when they can, because these laps will go by quick when you have to make all those moves on that slower traffic. This is going to be exciting. The drivers are getting lined up. This will be a standing start once again. Neil, what do you think about standing starts?
He's silent. He's flabbergasted.
Bathurst, we struggled with getting through the last corner. A lot of guys running each other off the track and everything. I'm pretty sure it would have been the same way in this half, but definitely standing starts is the way to go. Gives the guys a little bit more of a breathing room off the start here, so we should be in for a good start.
Awesome. As we take a look at our lineup first, Adam Peeler, Noah Brown second, Daniel Gooden third, fourth, James Miller, Caden Tufts fifth, sixth, Thomas Campiano, seventh is Zach Evans, eighth, Ray Bracey, ninth, Santiago Aguirre, and 10th, James Watson. Your top 10, Matt Hackathorn just outside the top 10, and 11th and 12th will be Darren Staff in the 45. 13th will be Joe Francis with Cassidy McLeod starting 14th. And Ty McIntosh will be rounding out our top 15 with Lee. Oh my goodness. Lytle in 16th. 17th, Ryan Gavel. 18th, Gavin Hibbs. Kynan Jones, 19th. Daniel Gore, 20th. 21st, Cameron Rich. Dylan Thomas, 22nd. And Alex Kenton, 23rd.
So, quickly, we do have a development. Cooper Johnson had his brakes, his brake literally fail during that half one incident. That's why we saw him miss that first corner. So for this half two, he's going to be braking using his clutch.
Oh man. Gonna have to make do with the Simreg brakes sometimes. Going with a no clutch approach tonight. To see how that plays out.
It might help him in the long run with the survival game, to be honest with you. I know, he might not be off to a hot start to begin with, but just being able to ride into these corners and save your tires is definitely going to be a good strategy towards the end of this race, I can tell you that.
And we are now green with those standing starts. They happen pretty quick there, Neil. And they are side by side into turn one for third place. Oh, cars getting a little squirrely. They're trying to get lined up so they can get ready to come down this straightaway to get set up for all these S curves coming up the hill. We are underway for half number two. So far, so good.
Yep, getting ready to enter the scary part here in this half number two. We're getting ready to get to the technical part of the uphill and the technical downhill part, where a bunch of these drivers who are running up front, who may not be used to it here on a road course, are gonna maybe panic and maybe cause an issue. But if we can get through this first lap here, no problem. It's gonna be all smooth sailing the rest of the way.
Oh, Gavel is into the wall. Gavel into the wall in the back.
Gavel, Kynan Jones involved.
Kynan Jones involved, yes, as well. Oh, almost a little contact there too between those two drivers. I believe of Brown and Miller. Battling hard here for this lead.
I'll pull up a replay here soon, but yeah, Noah Brown, James Miller were able to wrangle away the lead from Adam Peeler and Dylan Gooden there very easily, and now they're just kind of pulling off from the rest of the field. As little slideways there for Noah Brown. And let's see if we can see what happened to Ryan Gavel. I see Jake Scarborough may have been involved, Alex Kenton possibly as well.
Yeah, what do you see here?
Oh man, I blinked. I blinked and all of a sudden the car just like got shaking around. I'm gonna have to pull that up again. Go on board with Kynan Jones. Quick. Oh, did he miss a shift? Or something? The car just like, the car just like got sideways, like as if there was some mechanical resistance there for the one of Gavel. Here's the gyrocam of Gavel.
I'm here, I'm on Carlos's feed. iRacing decided to kick me out.
Welcome back.
It looks like he spun his tires or something. I don't quite see what happened to Gavel, but Gavel, the car just turned around on his own and made contact with the 73 a couple of times, and both of those drivers lost a significant amount of time. Oh, this battle for the lead is still getting hot and spicy right now.
Look at Brown all over, or excuse me, Miller all over the back of Brown. These drivers are really letting it happen. It's kind of like how it was the first half. The first two drivers kind of sat in the pace driving away, and third and fourth split apart towards the back. We'll have to see how this plays out with the rest of the drivers. We got awesome footwork cam there from the Miller machine.
Miller showed a lot of speed through the technical courses there before, so definitely watch him as we get towards the later long stretch. He might be able to put some pressure on Brown going into one of these last corners.
Look at him wheel that machine. Wow, great footwork. Neil, what is it like to be out there in one of these stock cars on a track that's really not meant for one of these?
I'm telling you, man, I did not run good last time we came here, but it was one of my first road courses in OSCA, and I had a time of my life. This track definitely eats up tires, and it eats you up in general. You know, you got to be on your game no matter what. Every single part of this track, even down this long straightaway, you got to be technical. You got to make sure you get your downshifts right. So watch Miller as we're coming down here. He might get a good shot to peek the nose under this left-hander. Oh, here he goes. He's trying it.
Oh, Miller is a right foot breaker. In a
Yeah,
whole
he
world
is.
where recently, I found out recently, and I was kind of shocked about this, is that left foot breakers are the majority, and right foot breakers are definitely in the minority. And I thought it was the other way around, because I'm a right foot breaker, so they're going for the lead.
Peeking the nose down in here. This could be his time to get up, try to get ahead before we get into the technical S's. Oh, get a nose on him.
That was close.
Good drive off there by Brown. Definitely gonna have a little bit of a draft here going to the hill. Definitely gonna have to make sure you lift here, get that run.
Yeah, my whole world was set upside down when I found out that the majority of the people left foot brake. I thought that was a relatively new thing that's been going on. Miller is sideways there.
Miller wants to get out front and get away.
Wow, this
Dylan
is
Thomas
some
not
great
very
battling for the lead. Looks like we got two drivers down pit road.
We don't even gotta talk. We just gotta look at what these guys are doing. They're just sideways.
I don't even know what to say. This is just incredible to watch.
Neil,
we got a
you
little
were
bit
talking.
of a gap here, but these guys they're definitely putting on a show here for the lead here. It's definitely good broadcasting.
Yeah, Neil. Oh, Thomas Capuano around. Oh, and he's gonna lose a bunch, and he just needs to hold it in there.
Tricky.
Yeah, he could get it. I mean, he's
nice
dropping all
shot.
the way back. But yeah.
Good turnaround. Kind of Jones flinging it around there. Good job by all the drivers not to see that and lose their cool and cut off the track. Let's see what we got here. Too much beans, you think, Carlos? A little too much beans?
It looks like a little weight shift, weight transfer issue there. When he hit the curb, and the car got upset by that and started losing the grip and just went around. But Neil, you were talking about it, and then we saw Noah Brown and James Miller about how much tire this track eats up, and we're seeing these guys go sliding pretty much entry and exit of the corners. They're four-wheel drifting throughout most of them. Like, how is that affecting the vehicle? You think? Do you think that's going to affect them, or is there a fine art of like kind of drifting through these corners without like losing significant tire?
I mean, these two guys are one of our top guys. You know, Miller's definitely puts on a good show. Same thing with Brown. So they might look like they're on the verge of out of control as Brown goes off there. That definitely isn't going to help. Miller's definitely going to have a good run up here. But definitely burning off the tires is going to be a big thing here. Sliding around might not be as much as this surface is pretty new in real life. So it might not be too much of a tire fall off here, but definitely with these guys pushing it to the limit, sliding up these hills, it's definitely going to lose a lot of the right rear and also the left rear. So they're definitely going to have to back it down probably within the next 5 laps and chill out and ride it out to the end. It's definitely what I would do.
Interesting.
We do have to make that one pit stop as well.
Yeah.
So they might go on an all-around push here just to get to that pit stop. But they're definitely going to be fighting it towards the end of here.
Take a look at some of the guys who started in the back because they finished in the front. Well, we mentioned Ryan Gav, who had that issue down to 18. Cameron Rich, who won half one and then dropped all the way down for the start of half two, is currently in 13th, up 16 spots. Oh, that was close there for Noah Brown. Wow, it's James Miller looks to the inside. Way to set it in there, James. Wow.
Woo!
Now this is going to get tricky though, because they're going to be dead even almost by the end of this straightaway. So it's going to be a very tricky part to make that left-hander at the bottom of the hill. It looks like he's got a good run here over the hill. Here we go. Oh, no, squeezes him over.
Contact!
Oh, a little contact.
Oh, no.
Oh, through the grass. Check it up.
That's going to be a furl black flag.
Yep.
He's going to have to give up a significant amount of time, James Miller will. Noah Brown, you see right there, as we're still on board with the James Miller foot cam. That says feet we're looking at.
But the thing is, though, is he was smart about it. He let the car ride itself off without being on the gas, and it's not going to give him that far. It's not going to give Brown that much of an advantage here. See, he's still in a good amount of zone to get back to him by the time we get to the S's.
And right now, in retrospect, the net loss there that James Miller had to the comparison of Carson's start-finish line the previous lap, he only lost like maybe half a second there to James Miller. To Noah Brown, because Noah Brown had an issue there on the very first corner, went off track, lost some time. That allowed James Miller to kind of get to his outside and battle him majority of that lap, and even get side by side on the end of that very long straight before the contact kind of sent James off track and in a position where he had to give up time. He had to like slow down to give up time. So overall, not really a significant issue there for James. I'm sure he doesn't like it. He's gonna write that down in the memory book, keep it in there for the next time by something like that happens. But at the end of the lap, they're all still running 1-2.
I mean, it definitely didn't give him as much room going down the hill, but with the way these guys have been fighting, they've definitely shown a form of respect with each other, to where you're kind of gonna have to give that here. You know, like I said, these are two top guys here. They're giving it all. It's definitely going to be on your dashboard towards the end of the run if it comes down. The roles will reverse, but I wouldn't really put it on your mind so much right now. We still got 18 laps to go. I think Miller's going to catch him here within a lap. He's going to be pushing it here. He's going to be pushing.
I just noticed this. I don't know how long this has been going on, but back when well, I guess they still do it now, but the roof cameras in real life broadcasts, you would see like stickers over here at the end of the roof, for sponsors. You can't really do that with this camera angle here because of the blur and how close and pixelated it is. But whoever designed James' car did a fantastic job of using this space here to put socials and could potentially be used for other logos for like sponsors or whatever. So fantastic use of space there, whoever designed his vehicle.
It's definitely a good plug, just like we got Ray Bracey with the Oh No Cam. These guys are getting very, very creative with these schemes throughout this season. I've definitely seen a lot of good ones.
Speaking of Ray Bracey, he does not have an in-car cam tonight, unfortunately.
Oh, right.
Here's the Oh No Cam.
No.
In a non-Oh No moment. Guys, relax. It's fine. Ray Bracey running a fantastic race so far, currently in 7th. He started, excuse me, I'm wrong, currently in 5th. He is the number 7. And he started in 8th position. So Ray Bracey doing a stand-up job of gaining a couple spots and trying to maximize the most that he can in this half number 2 invert.
Well, Stark in the Jaws music. Look no further. At the end of the top 10, you've got Daniel Gordon, Cameron Rich, now in the top 10.
What a drive by Cameron Rich. He was calm. He's taking his time, avoided any issues as they mostly happened behind him. Finally breaks into the top 10. 17 laps remaining. Now, he did have a 40 or so second lead to the rest of the drivers, like 3rd and 4th and even further back. So once Cameron Rich can get some clean air, I expect to see him just gunning down and breaking down that time, because right now he's only 21 seconds off the race lead. which seems scary, but the faster he can get past this danger zone here of drivers in front of him, the tighter that battle for the win will be. Noah Brown and James Miller, they need somebody to let them know that Cameron Rich is slowly working his way up.
Oh,
no! And he goes up high.
Oh.
That was Darren Staff that went around.
I was just about to say, from a real life racer, I had that feeling that something was going to happen there at the bottom of the S's. It definitely is a good help there for Rich and Gore.
They definitely got bunched up here through these S's. See what transpired here. Looks like somebody might have been trying to make a pass.
I think P-Fed knows just not enough breathing room to get down there.
Just a kiss, but that's going to create a little bit of damage and probably lose quite a few positions.
Caden Tuff's going down Pear Road this early on. You know, I don't know why. Oh, Caden Tuff's is a meatball flag.
Oh, Caden.
So that's interesting. Caden must have hit
the
wall.
He was too busy looking at the northern lights that he hit the wall.
Yeah. So Caden Tubbs going down Pear Road. Cassidy McLeod just barely kissed the back bumper of Darren Staff, and Darren Staff did not like the cooties.
Got a little bit more contact
and the car
here,
went around in front of Cameron Rich and some of the other drivers. As what did you say?
We had a little bit more contact with the 44 and the 35 there coming out of the last quarter. Darren looking for the feet. What a move by Darren. Hopefully you make it stick going up the hill.
Man, sideways trying to make these passes.
Oh,
they both go to the wall. 2 cars into the wall there.
Yeah, that was Tate Lido and Cassidy McLeod.
Oh,
Tate Lido
went
went
sideways
wide.
behind him. Look at all these cars sideways out of that turn. Holy cow. It's almost chaotic.
Yeah, Tate Lido went wide there in that second corner. Cassidy McLeod pulling off the classic monkey see, monkey do, and also going wide. And actually, that allowed Darren Staff to get past both of them cleanly.
Now, I think the major cause of this right now is definitely with those two getting that contact at the bottom of the hill, bunched a lot of the pack back to each other. So it's definitely, you know, you got this group of cars right here that are still with each other, but more further back in the top 15 era, you've got all these guys now crunched up trying to go through these technical parts. You're going to get a lot more contact, a lot more people slapping the walls, trying to make these moves. You might see a little bit more of a show further back just because how bunched up these packs are.
As drivers continue to make their way. Last time drivers came down right about halfway or just before halfway for pitting. We'll see what the strategies are this time around, see if anybody learned anything. Right now, Noah Brown still our leader with James Miller in second. I believe third place is going to be James Watson. Ray Bracey is going to be in fourth, in the number 7. Fifth is the 69 of Daniel Gore with Cameron Rich now up to 6 in the number 29. Francis there. Joe Francis in the number 28. And Gavin Hibbs now battling it there. Swapping positions just behind the Rich machine.
This could potentially be
McIntosh and Kynan Jones finish out your top 10.
Yeah, sorry about that. This could potentially be the battle for the win there between Cameron Rich and Daniel Gore. Daniel Gore, who finished second in half number 1, started 1 spot higher than Cameron Rich. They're both 15 positions up on the field, but Daniel Gore getting the lead as they try to get past Ray Bracey. Once they get past Ray Bracey, who was holding them down a little, you know, no other way to say that, and, you know, no offense to Ray Bracey, but right now, Daniel Gore and Cameron Rich have activated their grip hacks for this weekend. For legal purposes, I have to state that was a joke. So now that Daniel Gore has gotten past Ray Bracey, Daniel has a much clearer view. The track is essentially opened up for a couple seconds until they catch up to Watson and in third place. Once they get past Watson, well, they're all good to go to try to chase down those 2 leaders. Same thing with Cameron Rich. If he can get past Ray Bracey, which actually he already did, so now he's on the same boat as Daniel Gore. They just need to pass 1 more driver, and then they have an empty field for the next 20 plus seconds, which they can use to naturally just start gaining time on the race leaders.
definitely not a thing that Ray Bracey wanted to do there with letting those two guys by, but he's got to realize that those two are not who he's fighting right now. Currently, right now, he is fighting the 52 in the 28 and the 10. Those are the guys that he's really working with. You know, these two in front of you are fast, so you got to catch up with the pack that you're going to be involved with towards the end of this race. Those two, they put on a show at the end of the first half. So the best thing is to do is to let them by, gather yourself up, and just get back into a rhythm and try to chase these guys back down.
As we are now with 14 laps to go, Noah Brown trying to just creep away a little bit here. As you can see, Daniel Gore lap times are just a little bit faster. This has been some great wheeling up towards the front. Miller and Brown obviously got a little bit separated now. Looks like the Joe Francis machine has been trying to follow the Rich machine up, but he still finds himself kind of stalled out here in 8th. Or excuse me, 7th. No, I was 8th, sorry. Yeah. That number 7 with Ray Bracey got me all messed up too.
We did have excitement there for the first couple laps between Brown and Miller. Of course, that settled down significantly. You're not going to get that for all the 22 laps that we're going to have here in this second half. But with 8 laps in, 14 laps remaining, Noah Brown has pulled away from Miller a little bit. Let me see if I can pull up the current last couple of laps here. As you can see,
seems like Brown has got a bunch of issues here because he's been the last few corners in those technical parts. He's been really sliding it around, which has brought Miller under a second now. He's going to be close there. I don't know if maybe Brown's getting ready to pit and he's just kind of trying to burn everything up. But Miller's definitely been a lot smoother in this last lap and really brought the lead down a lot. As you can see, he's under half a tenth right here.
Yeah, and that's true because when I started talking about that, it was a 1.7 second lead, 1.5 second lead.
Miller
now
is back in the picture.
Yeah, Brown is definitely struggling on these exits. Like I said, I don't know if he's getting ready to pit and he's just trying to push it, but he's definitely pushing a little too hard, which has pulled Miller right to his back bumper. You never know, they might pit at the same time, and it's going to be a good show when they get out.
Bad news if you're a Matt Hackathorn fan, he has a meatball flag right now. Matt Hackathorn currently running in the 13th position, just got passed by Cassidy McLeod. Will have to go down Pear Road to get whatever damage he has fixed. Yeah, and you can see right there. 1.4
seconds faster. Wow.
1.4 seconds faster. Now here's the interesting part. Here's what I want to pull up. All right, let me set the third place car driver name, and let me set it to the current 4th place driver. And we'll look at the lap time differential. Look at that. You can see Daniel Gore was losing, was averaging about 1.2 seconds of losing time to the race leader for lap 5, lap 6, lap 7. Then he got around the majority of the drivers. He got around Bracey, was finally able to run a lap on his own. Was 0.1 seconds faster than your race leader. And then this next time by, he was half a second faster than Noah Brown on almost clean air, because he has caught up to Watson, is on the back bumper of Watson right now.
Definitely want to keep an eye on those times, as Cameron Rich is also right there behind Daniel Gore, following him up the field. As right now it looks like they are just kind of hanging out behind the number 39 machine of James Watson. Is all sideways there for Cameron Rich. That was
where it gets technical when you get these bunch ups here. It's definitely hard. You don't know where your braking zones are because you got 2 other cars in front of you. Ooh, Watson misses the corner a little bit. Let's Gore go by. Hibbs there slinging off the corner also. He's definitely in a push mode right now to stay up on Rich.
And Gore getting past Watson is going to be huge for that potential battle for possibly a win. Because Watson is still in between him and Cameron Rich. Cameron Rich still needs to get past Watson. Right now they're not in a section of the track where it's going to hurt Cameron Rich too much, but if he doesn't get past Watson here
Oh,
before they
Hibbs
get to the
diving down.
tight
Hibbs
section
diving
apart.
down.
Yeah, Gibbs going down Pear Road. Then it's going to be a huge gain for Gore and a huge loss for Rich.
We got Francis, McLeod, Jones down pit road. They're going to try to short pit this a little bit here. Whole bunch of them coming down pit road.
Yeah, a lot of drivers down Pear Road right now. Windows is open, and we have 12 laps remaining. It's only completed 10 laps. But, you know, Neil mentioned that the track eats up the tires. Tires get warm, you lose time. Not significantly large amount of time, but you do lose time. We saw how Noah Brown was hemorrhaging time on exit of the corners. Compared to Miller. Miller gains a lot of time on the exit, and his lap time is showing it.
Sometimes when you're down, you know, just outside that top 10, you got...
Oh, no, Miller!
Miller spun around!
No, the wheel issue again. He's stuck in the track.
No.
He can't get
More
out. He
trouble
needs to
for
get
Miller.
out. He's stuck in. There we go.
There you go.
Oh man,
Oh.
you can hear the engine revving, because when that happens, I mentioned that when that happens, all your inputs are locked. His wheel disconnected at the worst time again. He's got it running again. So that's a scary moment there.
I think what Brown needs to do, Brown needs to pit now, get those tires, and then pace yourself. You got a huge gap here.
Mm-hmm. He needs to hope those 24 seconds are enough. And once again, Cameron Rich got past. He got past James Watson, and he thought he was good to go to get Noah Brown going down Pear Road. He thought he was good to go to catch up to Daniel Gore, and all of a sudden now James Miller gets taken out of it. But now Miller is in between Gore and Rich, so Cameron Rich is not catching any breaks. But yeah, you mentioned it, Noah Brown going down Pear Road at the halfway mark. He needs to settle in, lock himself in, and run just the absolute best that he can do without making mistakes. If he is perfect, he has a chance at winning this race.
Gore down pit road as well with Watson. I mean, if Brown gets a good pit exit, a good outlap, he's definitely going to be a hard fight with all these guys with these fresh tires. Bojo a little off track there. Miller stayed out. Miller's trying to push the gap.
Cameron Rich disconnected.
I was just going to say, Cameron Rich just disappeared at the halfway mark. Our first half winner has had an internet issue.
Back-to-back upsets. Noah Brown with a good pit exit. Like I said, get that. Miller has not pitted yet. He's only 8 seconds behind. Pace yourself here. Don't push the car too long. You know, you got 11 laps here. Definitely in a good, good zone right now. You got Capriano, which is not pitted yet, which is 22 seconds back. He's got a good gracious period to pace himself here.
No need to push it hard.
On an alternate note, we talked about how excuse me, sorry, I can't talk. On an alternate note, Daniel Gore now has to do the same thing that Noah Brown was doing, which is settle in. Cameron Rich is out of the picture. That's your biggest threat. Lock in, do what you gotta do. Don't make mistakes. And you may have just enough time to catch up and pass Noah Brown.
Oh, it looks like Noah Brown's in the wall.
Oh no. Around he goes. Came to a stop and he had some damage. Let's go ahead and see what happened to Noah Brown. That is not what he needed to do. And that is going to be just what Daniel Gore needs.
Just pushing the car, taking too much curb.
Yep.
Oh, that's major damage. That's going to be hard to battle with throughout the rest of this race. Yeah, definitely got a little bit of toe in on the left front there.
He has a meatball flag.
Oh,
yep.
Brown.
That is going to do it for Brown.
Yeah, you can see that left front wheel is just not turning. He keeps, he can't do anything. He can't turn well too much. That left front is broken beyond repair.
We might not have had excitement in the first half, but we're definitely having it here in the second.
Oh man, it just keeps getting worse.
Hopefully, excuse me, my mouth is
dry. Some water there.
Yeah, grab some water. We'll cover here for a minute.
Hopefully Mrs. Rich is able to check up on Cam's. Hopefully he's doing okay. That is not what he wants to see. James Miller going down pit road right now as he's making his one stop. Noah Brown gonna try to clear that try to clear that meatball flag as Gavin Hibbs is gonna be leading this race now. He has gone down pit road already. He went down pit road on lap 10, but right behind him is Daniel Gore.
And unfortunately, it looks like we've lost a lot of drivers here early on. A little too early, or not too early, but a lot of early exits as these drivers are now down to the 10 to go mark as Noah Brown has the misfortune there. Daniel Gore now in the hot seat to go take over the lead from Hibbs. James Miller is 3 seconds back from Gore. This is the race for Gore that he needed. Is now Kynan Jones is now up to 5th. Look at these drivers just slinging it in these turns, bouncing up and down. It's got to be exhausting out here for, I would say, 44 laps. Thank goodness for that little break.
Cooper Johnson.
Back to back.
More issues for him. That's another meatball flag for Cooper. Both halves, unfortunately, ending in disappointment for one of my drivers, and it's going to be hit with another one of these. Let's see what happened to Cooper Johnson. Ooh, that
curve a little bit too long. Yep, and just didn't get out of it quick enough, and just had no time to save it.
And remember, Cooper Johnson is driving with a different setup than what he's normally used to, where his brake pedal broke on half one, and is now running with the clutch as a brake.
I mean, definitely not a thing you want to do, especially if you're always known as running with the brake. But a lot of people have very stiff brake pedals, so a lot of guys actually do make that transfer over to use their clutch as their brake. So it's not really a big, disadvantage. But definitely, if you're making this switch mid-race, it's definitely not going to be the easiest thing to kind of pick up. Especially with a short race like this. I know the track's very long, but having a short race like this is definitely not very easy to pick that up.
Yep, that's exactly it. I've got the force, or not the force feedback, but the spring-loaded, brake pedals, and it makes such a difference on being smooth and consistent on your brakes. And the clutches are kind of just, they're spongy. There's really no resistance to it. And like you said, really no practice in between sessions to test out that clutch combination. So just going in here and letting it rip, and so far, so good.
Yep, meanwhile, battle for the lead here is starting to heat up as my girlfriend was able to provide me with some much-needed cool water, and I feel like a refreshed man right now.
Daniel Gore.
You sound a lot better.
Daniel Gore, getting closer to the back bumper of Gavin Hibbs. Gavin Hibbs doing a great job. He was running well in that first half before an issue struck him and kind of sent him down a little bit. He's up 17 spots, so he finished relatively well. I'm confusing Gavin with somebody else. Gavin Hibbs currently in the race lead and doing his own to hold on to that position. Let's take a look at the last couple laps. They're going to be a little different here on lap 11 because of the pit stop cycle, so we can just ignore that. You can also, any driver who doesn't have a time is because they either went off track or had a black flag, a furled black flag, which means their time did not count in terms of lap time statistics, but they're still being scored. So you can just ignore lap 11 here. Taking a look now, Gore, of course, gaining a little bit of time. You can ignore this too. Gaining a little bit of time, Gore was. And gaining a little bit more time as Daniel Gore is faster than Gavin Hibbs. But if Gavin Hibbs does right, he could potentially hold off Gore But I don't see Miller being able to really put up much of a threat to Hibbs. So Hibbs, I think for sure has a podium position locked up.
Do we look on fourth on back right now? They're all just about a half a second apart from each other. It's about 7th spot right now.
Cameron Rich was my race pick.
Yeah, what are the chances of that?
A little broadcaster's jinx we have there, Carlos.
Kind of Jones.
I do this every week. Every week. The driver I pick, I should have picked for the other half. And yeah, and then when I pick them, they have unfortunately the bad race. So, oh man, I gotta figure something out.
Yes, sir. I picked Cameron Rich on you there, so my apologies.
That's alright.
I'm not gonna open my mouth. First race in as a broadcaster, coming in a little late. I'm just gonna let this ride out into the sunset.
Who's your pick again?
I'm not gonna say. Thank you, Jeremy.
You're welcome.
Well, Daniel Gore currently in second, running a smooth race right now.
Kynan Jones moved into the top 5, putting a little pressure here on Watson.
Wow,
what a great run here by June. Yeah.
Lap 1, Kynan Jones had that issue with Ryan Gabel. Ryan Gabel recovered to a 10th place finish so far. Excuse me, a 10th place running order right now. So what a recovery by Kynan Jones.
You could tell Kynan's definitely a little hungry, using all the access road here to try to get a run on Watson, to try to take over the 4th spot, to get away from Francis. Heart rate's up a little bit, 150. We're up there.
Working hard for the Kynan Jones machine, as it looks like we've got about...
He's got to fix his bow tie.
Yeah, the bow tie's a little crooked.
The bow tie's a little crooked. You got my heart rate going up with your crooked bow tie.
But the bunny outfit is on point. Just the bow tie's
always on point. We'll let him have that after this.
Kynan Jones got a 3rd place finish in half 1 and is in good shape to earn himself another top 5. And possibly, if all cards play out well, it's going to be a little hard for that to happen. But if all cards play out well, he may be looking at another podium as he runs some fast, consistent lap times. As he's in position to possibly get past Watson. Actually, he's just being passed by Francis right now. Joe Francis looking out there to his outside.
On the outside. That's a little tight. Can Francis get the crossover here going back up? Doesn't try it. Might be the smart move. Not try that move.
Yeah, Kynan Jones missed that first right-hander there that started the ascent up the hill, but was able to hold off a charge by Joe Francis.
I will say that about Kynan. He has really done an awesome job this year, not only on all the road courses, which is his strong suit, but his oval game has kicked up. Dirt, he definitely did all the practices to try to benefit himself. As he's taking a look here, little tight battle with Wester Green. Wester Green, great save. Kynan Jones didn't really bobble as much. Definitely brings him back. But Kynan definitely major improvements from the past few years. Definitely one of the strong competitors. Finally missed a race. Definitely, sucks on his end. But he's been strong this season, especially at the end of last year. Really, really proud to see his success through this, past few years.
Don't need to win them all to be a champion, I can tell you that. Good, consistent finishes can definitely put you in the right position to have a good end-of-year position in the point standings. As we look at Daniel Gore right here riding on board with him, as he's all over the back bumper of the Hibbs machine of Gavin Hibbs, number 52. James Miller behind these drivers is 4.5 seconds plus and growing. It's pretty crazy. These two up front are battling, and they're still pulling away. So they've got some good pace, and we'll see who moves up and who moves towards the back a little bit more with, let's say, 5.5 laps to go.
You can definitely tell that mirror inside that 52 is getting wider and wider the more these laps click down. As Gord tries to peek here on the inside, Hibbs is going to have to try to do some heavy defending here to keep this lead in these final stages.
And he's been doing a phenomenal job these last couple of laps. Based on the speed that Gore, or the pace that Gore had early on in the race, I kind of expected him to just steamroll past Hibbs and cleanly just get past him, no problem. But he's kind of been in that back bumper where you can see here on the telemetry, you know, he's been gaining some laps, and then he gets close and he has to, like, he's slower. He loses some time.
I think you're seeing that little bit of a drop off there, Carlos, because on our onboard camera right now, you're watching that 52. He is flying through these corners and weight transferring a lot. I think Daniel Gore is taking this in and putting it into his brain and watching where he puts too much of a roll center into this vehicle to where he could possibly drive it in a little bit deeper in these last few laps to possibly get underneath him and get Hibbs to upset the car enough to where he can easily pass it by or cross him over on the exits.
That's exactly it. Just got to plan accordingly. Oh, it's
as I'm saying,
grass.
he's watching this. Look, Gore has not been out of control on these exits, and look how close he is because he's watching Hibbs get the car unsettled. He's picking his braking points, and look how close he is here, coming with 5 to go.
5 laps to go.
5 laps.
We got some intel from the Redux spotter saying Daniel is driving angry. Hasn't said a word in voice chat all half.
That is pure focus.
He is locked in.
Pure focus and determination.
If I had a camera for Daniel, it would be stoned. Like a stone face, I should say. He would not be moving too much. He saw him gain a significant amount of time there. We saw an issue with Gavin Hibbs on like the corner right after the long straight. That's where Daniel Gore made up a significant amount of time. But yeah, I think you're right.
He's picking his battles.
Yep, Daniel
Look at that! Look at that drive up the hill.
Wow.
See, a little bit of a weight transfer. Gore puts his nose there, trying to get Hibbs to punk himself and overcorrect the car to where Gore can just easily drive on by him. You know, Hibbs is doing a great job here with fighting it and making that mirror wide so Gore can't really put the car where he wants to. Definitely great driving by both of these two.
One heck of a battle we are having here in the closing laps here at Bathurst. The Throwback 300.
Ooh, little
22 laps is when we started. Now we got 4.5 laps to go, 4.25. And wow, Hibbs has got that thing all over the place.
I think Gore's going to ride here for another 2 more laps, and we get coming up to 2 to go. I think that's when you're going to see a lot of pressure. He's riding here, getting it settled. He gained 18 positions from the drop of the flag. He's picking his marks. He's licking his chops here.
He definitely, I believe, knows he's faster, and like with Hibbs really driving as hard as he can is definitely getting those tires angry. Like you said, we'll have to see how much longer it'll play out with just 4 laps to go here very shortly.
Issue with Darren's staff is he is crashed. See if we can recover. I'm not going to try to pull up a replay here in a bit, but I just want to see how this battle plays off. Wow.
Did Gavel get involved? Looks like he is slow as well.
Gavel has crashed as well. While a couple drivers involved in an issue. We're going to cut away from
6. Looks like the 77 of the 6 had issues as well.
Let me know if there's a battle for the lead, guys, please. But here's starting first of all. Dave Carpenter had an issue on track not too long ago. Another weight
overshot
issue.
The entry just a little bit.
Now, possibly unrelated, I think. Darren Staff's issue as he goes around. Where is that? That's also in the downhill section, as he's going to pull an old Kyle Busch down the technical part of the racetrack.
I'm not going to lie, that is very skilled, because these things do like to snap on you when you're in reverse.
Oh,
and he pulled
no,
out right
that's what happened.
No.
And that is why Gavel's night is done.
Oh, not the way to do it.
Yep. Darren had it. He
had
it
parts,
figured
it's
out.
very hard.
He had
Very
it
hard to
figured
get
out,
these
but
things
then
going.
yeah, he pulled out at the wrong time. I would expect maybe race control throw a penalty there in Darren's way, and if not, maybe a probation if he isn't in one. but that's the worst time for Darren to pull out. See, right, we saw it happen to Ryan. And then it looks like either the car's done and he gave up and just shoved it into the wall, quitting it. Sure, Ryan is heavily upset.
Definitely not a way to end your night.
And then at the same time as that was going on,
side by side for the lead.
Side by side, Carlos.
Well, there he goes, Daniel Gore on the long straight.
Hibbs gonna have a good run here. He's gonna pressure him off. Watch this pressure.
He got it.
What a drive by Gore.
Not
He's
over.
gonna do the peek back.
Gotta give him the bumper. No. Could not get there, Hibbs.
Gore's just on the better set of tires here. Hibbs did a great job of trying to hold that lead. Just Gore was very strong and steady. Definitely kept the tires underneath it. Great pass by him.
What a fantastic pass. Great. Good job being on point for that one, guys. We got that on air. Let's quickly go back and take a look what happened to Jake, because Jake had an issue there around the same time that Gavel got his car destroyed. See what happened to him. In the same section, too, as the last couple incidents. His
just a
wasn't
little bit too
bad,
much
yeah.
curve as he's hitting the brakes, and it just unsettles the car. Like I said, these things weight transfer very easily, especially with these tight corners. It's very easy to get upset.
As Daniel Gore continues to lead the way now, just a half a second over their lead over Gavin Hibbs. Continues to grow just ever so slightly. Daniel Gore. 2.5 laps to go. James Miller, third. James Watson, fourth. And Kynan Jones in fifth. Sixth is Joe Francis, Ty McIntosh, Ray Bracey, Santiago Aguirre, and Thomas Capiano are top 10 as we run right now. Getting ready to come down to these last few laps. I don't know if Hibbs can get there, and I'm not sure if Gore will make a mistake, but anything can happen.
David Westgren has taken a toe to pit road.
Oh, Westgren. That's another out car for us. I don't think Hibbs is done yet. I think, still a very long way to go in this race. I mean, I was a lap shy of when I said Gore was going to make the move, but anything could happen. You never know. I'm not 100% sure how close these guys are. Someone could have an issue stuck on the track. You don't know. Anything could happen here at the end of this race. Hibbs going to have to try all he can. He's still under a second, which is definitely giving him a good shot if Gore makes a single mistake.
Oh, got some wall contact on that top screen there. Not sure who that was.
I think that may have been... I think that's Zach Evans? No, that's not Zach
Oh,
Evans.
me no fine.
No, that's not Zach Evans.
Okay.
Zach Evans is running a respectable 12th right now. Me fine. Me very fine right now.
It makes me happy.
So
that is 2 to go.
As
I think that's Kynan Jones that we're looking at.
Yes, Kynan Jones, and I'm not 100% sure who's in the 28th. This was Joe Francis, yes.
Remember, guys, this is a 2016 Supercars themed race. All the cars we're seeing ran in
Joe
the...
Francis taking a peek.
Yeah, there he goes. Ran in the 2016 Supercars race here. So it's a little confusing for us to see who's who. Is not only are the schemes different, but the number placements are different too, making it a little bit harder for us. Special rules just for this race.
yes,
I definitely
well
think
done.
though we've had a lot of cool collaborations with our race. We've had wrestling night, sport theme night, all these throwbacks of these cars, modern era and everything like that. Supercar one of this season. Oh, Darren Staff around has definitely been a highlight here. Every car has to have the throwback. It's not like some races where it's not mandatory. Oh, Kynan Jones with the late dive. He doesn't want me to talk about the supercars. Definitely, a great theme race here. It's great to see everyone partake in this. Great showing of cars, very bright cars. Definitely a good throwback choice. I can't wait to see the next one next year. In these final few laps here.
Kynan's car is evil right now, heavily damaged, and I think it's one more contact with anything away from getting a meatball flag.
Well, he's not thinking about that. I can tell you that. He is pushing this thing to to the limit, trying to get back to Francis. Watson's definitely backing the field up a little bit here as Joe's trying to get back to his bumper to maybe make a run here down at the end of the straightaway.
Leader coming around to the final turn to see the white flag being waved. Daniel Gore right now leading half, number 2. Coming to the white flag with Gavin Hibbs just about 2.5 seconds out back. Daniel Gore just needs to get through all these turns to come back around just one more time to be our winner of half, number 2.
It's going to have a slow car up here. You never know. Hopefully,
I wouldn't call that a slow car.
Well, definitely a lap down car. Hopefully, they can either get by Rich as quick as possible, or Rich with the fresher tires can obviously drive away from the pack here, and we don't see a little bit of a, kerfluffle as we're coming into the final lap.
Yeah, Cameron Rich has left pit road, finally got connection. Gonna finish this race out. I don't think he's in a position to gain a spot. He only has 1 lap to run. But I think it's safe to say that Cameron Rich will not be in the way here for Daniel Gore and Gavin Hibbs.
Looks like he may get one position, potentially get one position. We'll see how that plays out as the leader is now halfway around the track. The 52 of Gavin Hibbs right now out of reach. So all Daniel Gore has to do is just hit his mark smoothly like he's been doing for the last probably 10 laps just to get there to his bumper and then make the pass.
Coming down the S's here, going towards the final straight, 19 game positions. What a drive here by Daniel Gore. Definitely a well-raced victory as of right now. Coming off into the long stretch, we got a battle here for 4th position. Getting a little tight here, coming through these S's.
Battle for 4th is on as the leader, Daniel Gore, comes down this long straightaway through the quick little kink in it. Gonna set his straight sights set on making a hard left-hand turn. Going to be looking to see the checkered flag and another victory here in the 2024B OSCA Series. It's gonna go to Daniel Gore, half number 2 here at Bathurst.
Nice drive. Hibbs P2. We're going to have James Miller with the P3 finish here after the disconnection of the wheel. Great comeback, to not lose as many spots. Tight battle here for the P4 position going into the last corner. Watson's going to hold him off. Great drive on exit. We're going to have Watson P4, Francis P5, and McIntosh P6. Oh, Kylan Jones with an issue.
Did he run out of fuel?
Oh, what a heartbreak. Meatball. Oh.
Must have found something here late in the going.
Ray Bracey coming home P7. Santiago, I'm not going to even try it with the P8, with the triple eights. Thomas Capriano with a P9. Great finish for him. Looks like Darren Steff currently in our P10 position. Looks like he's going to hold it with a gap here between. Yes, he does. Zach Evans across P11. Jake Scarborough P12.
Is Kylan Jones going to get it? He does. 13th
He does.
after all that.
Never give up.
Yep, 5th to 13th, or 6th, I think. Fortunate ending there. Another great race though here.
I'm assuming that's what you're trying to draw. Definitely a very exciting half 2 here. Great job to Daniel Gore for his win. Like I said, passing 19 cars. Definitely not an easy thing to do around this circuit.
It looks like almost everybody is finished. One more car to come around the start-finish line. As we were looking at Kynan Jones coming to the white flag here, trying to figure out what happened to give him the meatball flag. Did he blow up?
He definitely missed the corner there. It didn't help him out, but it looks like he might no, he's still got some power.
There it goes. Fuel. Ran
Fuel,
out of fuel.
fuel.
Okay.
No more.
Whoops.
What a heartbreak there for Kynan Jones, but like we were saying, it was an excellent run. He's definitely coasting.
You don't always need fuel to run, but when you do, you do.
So Jeremy, what do you take away from the half two against half one?
Holy cow, that invert definitely plays some hecticness to the race. I thought it was hectic just because these drivers are really out of control. I feel like sometimes the broadcast really is kind of hard to really show the fans at home what's going on inside these cars, but I do know from experience that road courses are a handful, and Bathurst, you know, the weight transfer in these corners, going up, going down, it's really hard on these stock cars, and these drivers put on one heck of a race, not having very many incidents like they could have.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, definitely a hard circuit here to run. As we're looking at our feature results for half number 2, we have Daniel Gore P1, Gavin Hibbs P2, James Miller in 3rd, James Watson in 4th, and Joe Francis in 5th. Ty McIntosh P6, Ray Bracey P7, P8 Santiago Aguirre, tried it. P9 Thomas Capuano, P10 Darren Staff, P11 Zach Evans, P12 moving too fast for me, Jake Scarborough, P13 Kynan Jones with coasting to the end there. P14 Cassidy McLeod, P15 Alex Kenton, P16 Dave Carpenter, P17 Ryan Gavel, P18 Noah Brown, P19 David Westergreen. Not his strong suit of road course, but he finished in the top 20. P20 Cooper Johnson, and then we had our mid blackout of Cameron Rich coming home in P21. Jeremy, you can finish. I'm out of breath.
Whew, that was a lot of drivers. 22nd is Caden Tufts, 23rd Matt Hackathorn, 24th Tate Lytle, 25th Dylan Gooden, 26th Adam Peeler, and 27th was Dylan Thomas. We've got a couple of interviews to do here now that we've gotten this all taken care of. I believe the driver of the 29 machine was our first half winner. See if we want to bring him in here first. Cameron Rich, welcome to the booth. Man, you had a little trouble there, it looks like, with connectivity there in the second half, but you might have been going back to back for the sweep. Walk us through your night.
It would have been really cool if I got to race 2 races, but 1.5 is pretty good. I'll take it. Yeah, I mean, the first race was pretty good. Dan was obviously super quick, so just had to kind of manage it, and I didn't manage it as well as I thought at the end because he was quicker than me, and I was sweating buckets. Saw that car get big in my mirror, and I was not trying to let him get big in my mirror, so I kind of I turned my F3 off, and I was like, you know what, it's gonna be just like 5 laps of just perfection as much as I can at this point. So I'm surprised I didn't screw it up. I'm glad I didn't screw it up, but I'm surprised I didn't screw it up because that car was all over the place at the end.
Well, it worked out good for you in the first half. Obviously, the second half looks like the internet gods decided to drop it on you. Congratulations on the first half win. Who do you got to thank for getting you here tonight?
I got to thank the guys at Redux. I've been running enduros with them, and got a couple wins with them. So thanks Dan, Noah, Santi, Jake, Adam, Sam. I forgot anybody else. Thank you. Thank my team too for being here. James had a couple. He was really quick. I don't think he had the finishes he should have got both halves, but I think he got some good points in that second one. Matt, Tom. I got to thank Joe for filling in the 28. So that's short notice, and everybody else. You guys who do the broadcast every week do a fantastic job. Big for putting up with us because we're all annoying and pain in his ass. So, yeah, just it was fun. Hope to do another one again. Bathurst is always great. It's the best road course in the world, in my opinion.
Now, Cam, this is where I would like to jump in on that. I know you don't get to run as much with us anymore, and you've been doing a lot of these endurance races and everything I've been watching. How much of a challenge is it to go from running all these, actual cars that are meant really for these circuits to jump into one of these Xfinity cars and run around a technical track like Bathurst?
I grew up with these, though. I mean, you go over the GT3s and such, they have traction control, downforce, out the wazoo. It's, these are where the real fun's at. Those are cool and all, but these are fun.
Yeah, definitely cool.
Yeah, you drive those a certain way, and that's how you drive them. Here, you can slide them around, you can beat and bang, and I mean, yeah, that's real racing right there.
I 100% agree. Thank you for joining us. Congrats on half one, and hope to see you before the end of the season here.
Thanks, guys.
Cameron Rich was our first half winner. We will wait on the Daniel Gore interview for it to be next, so we can grab our third place finisher from half number one of Kynan Jones, and then we will have Neil, if you want to run this interview with Kynan Jones.
I got it. Get it. Kynan Jones. Heartbreaking half two there at the end. You had a P3 in the first half. Take us through your night. I know the ending wasn't the finish you really wanted. We will get into the bow tie situation. But great run. Take us through your night.
Going into tonight, I was not expecting to even be in the top 10. We have a lot of really good road course races this year, and Bathurst, it's been hit or miss with me. I'm either really good or I try to forget about it and it breaks my soul. But tonight was a bit of both worlds. First half, didn't have the best qualifying, barely clipped the wall going down the S's into Forest Elbow, so that cost my first lap, so then I had to take it a little bit easier, so there was definitely time to be gained there, and then was just trying to take it easy, end up having a nice little battle with Gavin in the first half. He was following a little bit too closely through Reed Park and ended up spinning himself, unfortunately, so that battle quickly dissipated. I was really happy to pick up the podium. It was beyond my expectations, and this is the closest I'm going to get to a home race. It's the only race in OSCA that we've done, which it's in Australia, so thank you, Vic, for putting it on. But then second half, wanted to be aggressive to try and get back through the field, and unfortunately I didn't get to see because my iRacing crashed, unfortunately. But from my cockpit, it looked like Gable was trying to get up the inside of Ty and didn't realize I was there, and we just end up coming together, which ended up damaging the steering, made the radiator really touchy, so I was constantly overheating. I had no top end speed, so I had to drive very aggressive over the mountain, which, because of the steering damage, it was trying to step sideways at every moment really possible. And then was able to jump a couple of people somehow without getting a speeding penalty. Pit speed limit is 31, but I managed to hit 40 and get it slowed down before I even got a penalty, so end up
We're going to cut that out, Vic. We're going to cut that out, Vic.
It's an iRacing officiating. It's
no,
fine.
definitely great. I know how it feels, to have like your home race here, which is pretty awesome for you. I mean, those tight battles there in the half two definitely looked a little bit tricky going through the technical parts here. A lot of peeking the nose, a lot of give and take. Yeah, you definitely got to be smart, especially going down the hill with the wheel spins. When you have that steering issues, though, it's definitely not the best thing to do when you're battling there with four cars. We saw your heart rate pumped up a little bit. You were running pretty good. It's terrible that you had the outcome though that you did, but you're definitely stepping it up there. You did pretty good. Issues happen for a reason, but definitely not the best night for you, but definitely not one to hang your hat.
I mean, I'm happy with the podium. I got to come in here, so that was the main thing I wanted to do, and unfortunately ran out of fuel and was doing everything I could to get by James, but it wasn't to be. But I'm not gonna deal with people's not gonna use the word I want to use, but people have to start.
PG show.
Yeah. Yep, that's why I'm not saying it. I'm Australian. It's in my language. Unfortunately, we can't do that. The FIA would be very angry, but
Yes.
Yeah.
Community service for you, kind of. Before you let you go here, who do you have to thank, and can you please straighten up your bow tie for me? It's been crooked the whole stream. Thank you so much. Now that is over with, who do you got to thank?
So first of all, I want to wish everyone affected by Hurricane Milton safety, because I've been watching it even from here in Australia. It's quite devastating, but it's a part of life, unfortunately. So I wish them all safe. Thank you, Vic, for putting up with our rubbish every week. Unfortunately, I wasn't here last week, but Talladega was a clean show for once, so it's proving that OSCA is showing how good it can be. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Carlos, Jeremy, and you, Neil, for broadcasting. My team, Weekend Woodsmen. I know Cassidy had some issues in the second half. Tim wasn't here tonight, unfortunately, so I hope he's doing well with whatever he's doing. Caden also didn't have a good night, so that's unfortunate. And go check out Weekend Woodsmen on YouTube.
All right, thank you, Connor Jones. Best of luck next week.
Yep, we'll see.
Ryan Jones, our third place finish there in the first half. Now we will grab the winner of the second half. The winner will be Daniel Gore. Daniel Gore, I believe you were second in the first half. You one position better in the second half, man. This seems to be quite the routine for you and I. Congratulations again on a great night. Walk us through it.
Thank you. I mean, I knew going into this race, Cameron was going to be the man to beat. We did the Bathurst 1000 together the weekend before in iRacing. I guess we learned quite a bit off that for this race there. And overall, I felt pretty equal to Cameron in the first race. But Darren had, I think, a little other plans there. After we had pitted and he'd stayed out, he kind of let him go, but wasn't quite so the same to me, and that kind of got me annoyed. And closed it up a little bit to 1 second. It was just too little, too late. But I'll take second, given, you know, the championship. And then the first half was just survive the chaos, and it just sent it. That's all I had in my mind. I was not thinking about anything, just drive the car. And there was a few moments where I made a few moves I didn't think were gonna stick, but somehow they did, like around the outside of the chase. Oh, it was crazy.
Well, man, you definitely had quite the eventful night. Congratulations again, and who do you got to thank?
I want to thank Jordan. I know he's watching. My friends back home in England, sponsors, and my team.
Because
Awesome.
that was a quick one. Daniel, let me pick your brains here. What
All
were
right.
you thinking when we were about 7 to go and you were pushing the needle to try to get Hibbs there at the end? Were you kind of waiting it out, seeing where he was making the mistakes up in the booth here? We were kind of figuring out what you were doing. Hibbs was out there really flying through the corners, holding his own, but you were more steady. Were you kind of backing it up to wait to the last few laps to really push the car to the limit? Or were you just kind of in a survival mode and then hope he makes the mistake at the end?
Oh, about 7 to go after the stops. I'll be honest, I was just flat out the entire time. The entire race, I was just flat out. I did not have the single thought about backing it out until the last lap or 2 laps when I had a decent gap. That was just wait for the move, and he went a little wide at Forest Elbow, snuck it on his inside. We didn't make contact, and that was the pass. But I wasn't even sure if I was going to get him at first. I had no idea when he pitted. And he said he only pitted a lap earlier than me. I didn't think he'd gain that much time. So it kind of stunned me at first when he came out ahead and he still didn't come in the pit. I was like, is this guy not pit yet? And it turns out he's the guy I'm racing. And so when I figured that out, I was just full throttle the entire time. Not even thinking about slowing down there.
Gotcha. Yeah, definitely put the pressure on him. Made him make a few mistakes throughout these tight corners. Great driving there at the end there within the 5 laps to go. Passing him relatively early, not waiting to the white flag. Good driving on your behalf, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Daniel Gore, our second half winner, having a great season so far. Hopefully it can continue week to week. We will grab our second place finisher, Gavin Hibbs, our second place finisher. Welcome to the booth, Gavin. Man, 4th place in the first half. You found yourself second in the second half. Walk us through your night.
Yeah. Knew it was going to be a difficult race, with how tricky this track could be, especially on the uphill and downhill section. Passing was going to be very few, but we just had to set them up perfectly. Really, for that second half, mostly, I didn't expect to be fighting for the win there late, but very fortunate things happened with the guys that were running up front, and we're just glad to be there at the end.
I tell you what, you definitely put on one heck of a fight there with Daniel Gore at the end. You were wheeling that machine, he was wheeling it. What was it like battling there with Daniel?
Oh gosh, it was tough. He's, got to give credit to him, man. He is super quick. It's my first time racing against Daniel too, and I knew he was gonna be quick, but good lord, those last 5 to 6 laps were just probably the most tough laps I've ever ran in my entire life of being on iRacing. So, but congrats to him and the Redux guys for winning tonight.
Well, congratulations to you, Gavin, on a great night. You definitely put on a great show for the broadcast booth. Who do you got to thank for getting you here tonight?
Yeah, gotta start off with Seth Rawls and Shift Esports. Seth planning on making this 52 an all-star car, and I pleaded with him, begged him to let me drive Mount Panorama because I just love this track. So gotta give Seth the credit for letting me drive this 52 car around here. My design business, Hibbs Designs. If you want an iRacing scheme made, hit me up, Gavin Hibbs1 on Twitter or Hibbs Designs on Twitter. And then lastly, Carlos and 3Y TV, for being the sponsor of this 52 car as we finish out the rest of the season. So give big shout out to you, Carlos, and 3Y Television.
Appreciate the kind words, Gavin. Congratulations on a great night. Hopefully we'll see you again this season.
Yep, and thank you guys for the broadcast.
Absolutely. Thank you. Gavin Hibbs, our second place finisher. We got one more, Neil. We'll let you take him.
I got it.
The rest of the way, we got James Miller going to join us. We got James up in here. Yes, looks like he's got himself unmuted now.
James Miller, not the way you wanted to have your night get ruined there, going up the S's. Talk us through what happened there, first of all. Great recovery, though, with the P3 after all that happened. You were putting on a great fight at the beginning of the race with you and Noah Brown. Talk us through what happened there.
Yeah, well, it all started with the first half where I just missed my last lap of qualifying. I was a car length from the line when the qualifying session ended. I think I would have started second. But not that it mattered, because I had this issue with this wheel before. Last year when we did the Road America 500, where I don't know if it's got to be some sort of force feedback, peak short or something. I just lose, my whole steering base shuts off and I lose connection to the computer. So when it did that, I clipped the wall, I think, looking back on the replay, and it just shut it off. So I have to turn it on, turn it back off, turn it back on again, and then I still have no clutch pedal. So it's quite the whole rigmarole to get it back going. Luckily, no one hit me on that first one somehow, since I had it stopped in the worst spot in front of the whole field. But yeah, then we got the invert. I was like, okay, well, we'll try 4th place again, and then we were doing good and putting the pressure on Noah and having a really fun battle with him. And then it did it again, in a slightly different spot, but the same spot. This time I was a little quicker, but I lost the clutch for the last run there, which made the pit stop really slow because I had to leave pit road on the starter motor. So we were just chasing spots that didn't exist, but yeah, I don't know, somehow I got 3rd place out of it. Guess can't complain too bad, but unfortunate for sure.
Yeah, definitely not a definitely not a bad result with all those issues that happened to you. You showed a lot of speed there. I didn't really catch the first half, but the second half you definitely had a lot more speed up the mountain. To where I don't know if maybe the whole clutch pedal thing was helping with you because you weren't really riding on the brakes probably so much going up that hill, kind of a little bit more of a coast up the hill, which kept your car a lot more settled than all your other competitors that were around you. Track is very tricky. Definitely don't want, those malfunctions happening here. Luckily, no one hit you, though. We were all a little panicked in the broadcast booth up here when you were stopped. Glad there was no contact. Glad you were able to come home in a P3. Who do you got to thank?
Just big thanks to Cam Rich and Matt Hack for the car. Unfortunate to get 18th in the first one because we are trying to fight for a championship. It's not ideal to have such a bad heat with the way the team championship points go with averages of the day, but hopefully our luck will change here. But yeah, thanks to them. Big shout out to Joe for filling in for the 28. He did good, and shout out to Cam, team owner, for winning the first race. I don't know why he had to drive the competition, but hey, he got it done.
That's usually how we get when Cam Rich comes to join us at OSCA. Well, James, thank you for joining us up here in the booth. Best of luck for the rest of the year.
All right, thank you.
All right, another awesome interview there. That's going to do it for the interviews. Carlos, do you have any final thoughts?
Appreciate you guys for letting me rest my voice, as kind of gave out there at the end. But yeah, no, it was a fun race. It wasn't the traditional, every single lap excitement that we usually see, but there was still different types of excitement throughout the whole race as a whole. So interesting to know, what could have been had Miller not had his wheel issues. What could have been had Cameron Rich not had connection issues at the end, at the last half of the race. All those different things, it still plays out. And, good to see Dan Gordon Redux Racing getting themselves yet another victory. Great run by Gavin Hibbs, and good recovery from James Miller.
Awesome. And Neil Rott, your final thoughts joining us for that second half.
Definitely a blast up here. Definitely would have liked to have more vantage points on my end, but my iRacing just kept deciding to boot me out of the race every time I tried joining. So I was running off of Carlos's viewpoint, which definitely helped, made it a lot easy. Bathurst, great track. Definitely fun seeing these Xfinity cars here. I cannot wait to get back to an oval though, from a personal standpoint. But definitely a great night. Not too much chaos, which is always good. Penalty reports will be light this week. Quick shifts. We'll have a lot of good vantage points with the passing and all that stuff. A couple bobbles. Thank you to both of you for having me up here, and Vic for allowing me to come up here. From running full time to going into the team owner standpoint. Never know. You might see me back in here for the half twos, which is usually when I can make it. So you never know. If we're down a guy, I might come in, pick everyone's brain, give the insider from a in real life racer aspect of it, and definitely a good time. Thank you guys.
Awesome. Well, we had a great time with you up here. I had an awesome time up here in the booth. This is my first time at Bathurst, and it was a blast. Learned a lot about this track, definitely very tricky, and hopefully turn some laps here soon. My name was Jeremy Briggs alongside Neil Rutt, Carlos, great producing as well. Thank you everybody for coming along, Vic and all of his staff at the OSCA League. This was another presentation of 3 Wide Racing Television. We hope that everybody is staying safe during the hurricanes down there in Florida. Have a great night, everybody.